Alright, so we're going to take a little bit of a break from the ultimate algae battle because I am still battling that, and the tank's actually been in blackout for about a week now. So this Fix It Friday, I'm going to work on winterizing these tubs in this pond here because this is my current situation. You can see here I've got trash can lid here working as part of it. And that's mostly because these got broken last year from the wind blowing them around and just snapping them apart, which these are expensive, so it really not good to be breaking them. Finally started putting rocks on it, but as you see here, like it's barely sealed up, so it could definitely be a lot better than what it is. And the big reason why I'm going to do this is we're supposed to have a pretty bad winter this year. So what I'm planning on doing, I got some supplies here, that wood, which I'm going to use for a frame. I want to build a frame around it and actually screw the plastic pieces on it. That way I can just notch out a little piece there and actually have it form fitted in there. That way it actually keeps all the heat in, because that's really your goal, is just to kind of keep it sealed, keep it heated and insulated. And also got some more stuff for the pipes. Now I did insulate them a little bit last year, but I also lost some of the insulation just due to weather. Like, see, that's not on there all the way. That could be better. Didn't even insulate that at all last year. That's dried up algae right there. Sometimes I just chuck the algae out inside, but yeah, I mean, a lot of this is pretty much still covered, but definitely would be nice to have this covered more. There's the sump filter. I haven't shown it much. And these cords right here, these are actually cords that come out of the, or go to the heaters inside, so, which unfortunately one of them doesn't actually even reach, so it's kind of useless. And I've never actually opened this yet. I should have put a handle on it or something, which I forgot. I just wanted to make it like hidden and just kept it as a square box. And punching a hole through the top, I didn't really want to do that because of the insulation, so I didn't end up putting a handle. So I actually haven't even gotten in here. Like, I'm sure I can pry it open if I wanted to and pop the lid up, but I actually haven't got into that since I've even made it, so I don't even know what it looks like in there. All I know is if it works, and like they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm not even trying to get in there. And I think, let's see, I got this done last fall, so it was kind of weird timing. So I got it done just in time to deal with winter last year, which I had cooler water fish in there, like barbs and something else, I can't remember. I did have rainbows out there, but yeah, you can see, but now I got mostly rainbows out here, so I want to keep it a little warmer. But yeah, you can see how a lot of that's just come off and everything else. The other backside to the pond. Insulation is, they have these foam pieces that you can wrap around, and you take that yellow off and it's actually a adhesive, so it bonds to itself. And also got some pipe wrap insulation. Now this stuff's all shiny, and I got some bigger ones for the bigger pipes. So this stuff's all shiny, so I did get some outdoor paint. May paint it black here. That way it blends in, doesn't look like a spaceship. But yeah, like this one's not even really getting any light. Look how bad that piece is. You end up chopping an arm off with that. That wouldn't be good. But yeah, this definitely needs to be addressed. So now I'm gonna start working on this frame here. Alright, so it's time for another head cam adventure here. Just gotta open these up. The blade's not very sharp, but hey, it works. Alright. Hopefully these aren't too warped. Looks decent. Now, what I'm gonna do here, let's grab one of these. And you see it's kind of bowed, so it's not perfect. But with the humidity, these aren't actually treated either. The treated ones were like twice as much. And I don't know, we'll see how the weather actually does with them. But the humidity should actually help form this to the tub. So what I'm gonna do here, so I already know what it covered. It pretty much covered all of it. Which actually I should double check that. So boom, where are my pipes? Got my pipes here. Thing about this is this time of year you only got so much daylight to actually do this stuff. So here I'm just kind of double checking it. It's always good to go ahead and double check. Alright, so yeah, that goes all the way. I'm gonna want the over there, so let's go ahead and mark it to the end. I'm gonna give it just a little shorter so it's not real snug, so it's not too hard to actually get in there. Take these back off. Also, I'm gonna leave them ends on, that way I can check my sides here in a bit. And I gotta go get my saw. Always forget something. Alright, got my saw. Got my mark. Wherever it went. Ah, there it is. Alright, now I got my mark made, got my saw. Go ahead and make that cut. And I should, yes, of course, another thing I'm gonna need, sanding block. Alright, so I got a sanding block. Always like to keep it clean on the edges. This way it's just nice and don't ever have to worry about poking yourself or anything. Never hurts to actually go down it too, give it a, make it nice and smooth. Not absolutely necessary, but definitely makes it nicer. You know, you're only gonna do this once, so even though I don't have much time to do it, actually I'm probably not gonna do that too much because yeah, I don't have time to do it. But if you got time to do it, it does make it nicer. Make sure all that salt is off there, not that it's really gonna hurt anything. So yeah, that's a good fit. I'll make sure, pretty sure it should fit on this end too. And that would. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark another one at this size. Man, you can see that one's super bowed. But since these are gonna be the bottom piece, actually I'm gonna need 4 of them at that size. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark that. All 4 of these. Alright, so I'm probably gonna have to go get more lumber. I already knew I was probably gonna have to get more supplies. This way it always works too. So I wasn't sure what all I'd had in my garage to do this with. So you get 4 of these. Yeah, definitely gonna need more because I'm actually gonna double stack these. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these. I can do 2 at a time. Now if you're not used to using a saw, I would recommend doing only 1 at a time. Alright, enough. And wish I had a rougher grit on this. This is kind of a finishing paper. It's got the fine sandpaper. But if it has bigger bumps on it, that's for rougher grit. It'll really clean it up fast. So you gotta be careful if you're doing fine woodworking. It'll chew up the wood and you don't want that. But that's a whole nother can of worms with construction and woodworking. Let me get these. Then next step, I'll have to get my sides. Here. So what I'm gonna do, go ahead and take one of these, just pretty much like last step. And here I'm gonna actually just go to the length of this. Actually. So this is what I'm gonna wanna do. So just go to the length of this. Which it could stick out a little bit. Better to have more than less. More than less is always better when cutting, because you can never lengthen a board. Even though my shop teacher will tell you different, that they got a board stretcher. I think you need a rubber C-clamp, some muffler oil, and something else. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, that's the only way you can stretch lumber. Look it up on the internet. And I'm gonna need 4 of these. And a stick right in my way. Look at that, just lodged in there, just perfect. Just to give me a hard time. This is life right here, buddy. This is real life. Look at that stick. It's stuck in there. C'est la vie, right? Alright, get the 4th one here. Which if I really had time and I was wise, I'd probably be measuring my lumber out more and actually thinking, okay, like I need this many, or I could get this out of whatever wood. But since I'm on a time crunch, these things are like $1 something. I'm just trying to get done, because yeah, I am definitely on a time crunch. So I'm gonna get these cut. I'm gonna reset these chairs real quick. And make sure you guys are still recording. Hard to tell when I can't see you guys on my head cam. But yeah, I'll just pull this chair over here like so. That way, yeah, let's see, I need, dang, I think I need these pieces. So I don't want them to fall out. I'm actually gonna do this, like this. These shouldn't, well, they are gonna slide. Here we go, that shouldn't be too bad. Alright. So I believe these are the ones I need. I'm gonna stick them there, stick these here away from them. And this, let's see, where'd they go? Where are my marks? I'm not seeing them. Oh, where are these pieces? Ow! Is that right? Yep. Why do I got 5 of these? You guys let me cut 5 of these? Oh well, whatever. Here's these marked ones. Oi, oi, oi! That's what happens when you get in a rush. But the thing I learned is, even though when it comes to building or creating or anything, it's best to do the bulk of the work later, and don't be afraid of what you might not do or something like that, because you can always go back and tweak. So if it doesn't come out perfect, it's when you just use some ingenuity and come up with a solution. It's really just problem solving. Alright, so this should be my frame here. Actually, that overlaps. So, let's see. I need to cut the length. I didn't even think about that, because these are going to overlap. So I'm thinking I should have cut these shorter to like that. But maybe that won't be an issue. Let me actually mock this up. That would make sense. Not enough room, believe it or not. My nemesis is never having enough room for anything. One of these days I'm gonna get a huge workplace or warehouse or something. Let's see, so I gotta go inside with these. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm gonna actually do some modifying and tweaking to this, because I gotta make room for these pipes here. Go ahead and get this so I can mock it up. Okay. It's decent. Oh, kind of tight. See how much I got on the edge there. I kind of want it tighter than that. So I'm going to trim the length of one of those, I think. That's what I'm going to have to do. Boing, boing, boing. Head cam starts feeling funny on your forehead after a while. But hey, this is a good way for me to share this with you guys. Oh yeah, see that I'm really going to have issues with, which eventually I'll replace that. I'm not going to afford to find a cheaper solution. Because man, these things at the store, I can't remember, but I think they're like almost 50 bucks or something crazy. Yep, just gonna have to trim that down, so that's good. Just gotta get this going. I'm gonna just snag these up real quick. And let's see, that's one I needed. These I do not need. This is a big reason why I put them on the opposite end, so that way I don't get them mixed up. I'm gonna do here, that's not the right one. This is what I need. So what I'll do here, got a tape measure. Where's my pen? There it is. Grab it. Okay. So here what I can do, I don't even have to get a tape measure. And these are my cut ends anyways. Try to keep it on the cut end. And this one doesn't want to line up. There we go. And now, you just mark it like that. Boom. Same here. Line it up. Mark it like that. Make my cuts. Now it's ready to start framing. And I gotta sand these. Ooh, look at that, split all the way down. Alright, see that one's decent. Decent, man, that is one terrible cut. Whatever. Dang, it isn't fine woodworking. Alright, so now the trickier part, how am I gonna attach this to each other? That's much nicer fit. I'm gonna go in through the ends here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a drill for this, because it's better to pre-drill when working with the thinner wood like this. That way it doesn't split apart. So let me go get the right bit. Now I got this little tray here to just hold my smaller stuff. But when coming to pick out a bit, I like to get one smaller than the actual screw. That way it's a nice tight fit. The threads are nice and into the wood so it grabs real good. Be nice if I had a battery in here. Lock and load. And I'm going to end up putting long screws in through the sides here. Put it together. Make sure my torque's up. Alright. And not enough room. Alright. I can go ahead and move these out of the way. Careful not to break them, so I don't want to replace them. Alright. Need another one of these. Let's see, my drill bit's starting to fall down here. You don't want your drill bit on these grooves. You want it on the solid. Because if you don't, your drill bit can break. Alright, I'm gonna get the screws, take my battery. Sure, I gotta change my drill bit. I always do. Or my drill tip, I should say. That would be the proper. These might be a little long for this actually, but if I can get them in there, it'll be a nice tight fit. Actually, probably want to take a drill bit with me, so I'm gonna steal this battery. Actually, make it longer, since it only reached about there. In this one, yeah, I didn't even reach it. Will be. Alright, well, it didn't reach it, so I don't have it marked. I'm going to mark it with the screw here. Reverse it out a little bit. Now I got a nice little mark there. Punch that in. It's good to try to stay straight if you can. And also get that little bit of extra off there to get a nice tight fit. Alright, try not to over crank too, because then you run a risk of the screw just spinning, and that doesn't do you a whole lot of good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that with the rest of these. Alright, so now I got my screws in, got my frame built here. This is going to be the top portion. So I mentioned earlier I'm going to double layer it. So I'm going to go ahead and set that over. And all that is pretty much like a big picture frame. So now the next step I'm going to do here is, since I got these water lines coming in, which hopefully I don't need these again ever. There you can see some fish, a lot of flowers and stuff. I'll show you guys this side too real quick. Actually, I just remembered I haven't fed these guys today, so that door's locked, man, dang it. Alright, anyway, I'll have to show you guys that here in a second. Let's go ahead and get this marked out. So pretty much all I'm going to do here is replace this bit right here. Just kind of chop that out. I'm going to give it some room too, because I could always stuff like insulation in there in between to make it nice and clean and tight. So now it's just getting rid of this bit of wood. Throw that on here. And a big reason why I'm in a hurry is this is like the last nice day we're gonna have with decent weather. It's actually supposed to snow here on Friday for our first snow. Like Indiana weather is the craziest. It will go from 40 degrees one day to 80 degrees. It's insane. Ooh, I about messed up there. You should never start with the blade on the actual wood, especially when you're not wearing glasses. Safety should be a little more important to me right now, but yeah, if you start on the wood, you'd run a big chance of throwing up a splinter and it could get in your eye. And that would not be good. Alright, so got that done. I'll get my frame back down here actually. And this is the top. I want this. This is the bottom. So let's do this. Pretty much what I'm going to do is build this next part upside down. So I got this piece here. If I'm building it upside down, it's going to be reversed. So this will actually be the front. And then what I just cut here. Okay, I got those little pieces. Oh, here they are. It would be flipped over that way. So this would be right here. So that leaves that groove. I'm gonna see where I'm getting at here now. Alright. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do here first, which I don't think I'm gonna have enough screws, which I don't need a whole lot for them. Oh yeah, I may have enough. What I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and put a screw in here. Well, that one's kind of long actually. I don't have any exterior screws that are smaller than this. So really, let's see, that's a 3-inch, maybe about 2.5 inch, or even 2 3/4. 2.5 probably be better. So I'm gonna have to go get some of those. But either way, I'm gonna end up putting screws in all these. I'm gonna pilot hole them with the drill like I showed you guys earlier. And I'm gonna go in on the sides and do the sides again. And then that should have my frame done. Then I'll be ready to put on the plastic parts. But now it's time for a little road trip to the hardware store. Here's some quick extra footage of actually feeding the ponds before it gets too dark. There's not a whole lot in here. There's actually, I gotta crumble it real fine because there are tiny babies in there. These guys, there's quite a few little babies in here. They're getting older. See them munching. This one's got more smaller babies. There, I don't know if you can see them on here. More babies. There's a big one chilling in the corner, but she's not going for it. These guys will though. They're a little bigger. They got it figured out. I'm not sure what I'm going to store in here after this winter actually, because really I'm about at the point where I can clear this out or either add to it. And same with that, these babies are going to have to come out eventually. And I don't want rainbows in here anymore because of the chance of one hopping over, which I didn't think about that before until somebody mentioned it to me. I'm definitely going to keep the dwarf neons and the red wapongas over here. Which the red wapongas are the ones I probably worry about the most because I don't know how weather tolerant they are. These guys I know they are. That's more or less if something happens. But yeah, there's some extra feeding footage for you. Alright, so finally back from getting the extra materials, the screws and stuff. There's my cat Sparky. It's dark here, so it's actually only 6 o'clock at night, and I'm losing my daylight. The daylight's done burnt. So we're gonna have to do some night building because I really have to get this done because weather is about to get real crazy. But yeah, normally in the summertime, it's it doesn't get dark till after 10 p.m. so it's kind of rough. There's Sparky. He wants to make a appearance. Hey, buddy. He's not camera shy. Meow. Better let him in, but yeah, I'm gonna have to plug in a light and then we'll get to it. Alright, so I got my screws in here finally. Put these pieces together. I didn't really take many screws, just a couple on the ends. That one I put in the middle. This one I put 2 in the middle. Just one in the middle there, and then one's on the end. So now they're all one solid piece. I got a nice built frame. And that'll keep that over and snug for my lines coming in. So now the next step is to actually put on the plastic pieces. And I did go over the tops of the screws with a sanding block real quick just to clean it up. Now that I got it flipped over and this is on the top now, I can start putting on the plastic pieces. I did think about doing like maybe a piano hinge or something like that. But I actually did pin this down. Oh, reminds me too, I've got to cut and measure 2 metal braces, which I'm only gonna go 1 layer on the braces because they're only holding the weight of the PVC. So I do gotta stick those in wherever those line up. So I gotta go ahead and set those out. I might have to put you guys back on the head cam actually to do all this. Let me do that real quick. Alright, so I've been mocking this up and seeing where to put stuff. And I went ahead and cut these pieces for the sides to actually put this on, which I plan on just kind of going halfway on each one. And to make my life easier, I stuck under like a piece of scrap. That way I can just screw it in when I'm done. But what I'm going to want to do, since I already have this all lined up, I'm going to want to at least put a screw there and maybe a screw over there, so that way it's not moving on me and I could actually move those around before actually screwing them in the side. And that'll make my life a lot easier. Alright, and definitely I had to make pilot holes on this. Now when you're drilling through this, you want to go slow. You want the drill to actually do the work. You don't want to push on it or you actually risk cracking in it. So let the drill do the work. And I just used the same drill bit as I had before. Now it's just putting in the screws. Then I'll go ahead and mock up the rest of this, get them laid down, and then be able to put in these braces. And then it should be good. Then I'll show you kind of ideal of what I plan on doing to get into it and all that. Now I did find it easier to go ahead and stick a screw on this side. That way I can actually keep this from sliding around and get a snugger fit that way than mocking it all up. Which means I can go ahead and put a screw in the side. And I may go ahead and add in the middle. I'm not planning on putting ones all the way up. And I'll show you why here in a bit. And as far as the screws I'm using for this, it's also deck screws, and they're 1/4 and 1/8 inch. And make sure that you don't keep pressing on the screw when you're actually drilling in. Just go until it just kind of, you feel the tension. That way you don't risk cracking anything. Now this is the reason why I went ahead and drilled it down. See how snug I can get that? I can grab my drills, I left them over here. Yeah, this is how you want to drill them in. Just let it do the work. Here, there's a slight, it sounds like it's cracking, but it really isn't. It's kind of scary, because yeah, these were actually 30 bucks a piece. I had to buy a couple of new ones. And get the screw in there. Woo! Careful, careful. Sure that didn't split. I almost did. But yeah, you can see how nice and tight it is now. So that'll give me good closure and help keep that heat in. I did go ahead and put in a screw on each side, so that's all ready to go. And now I just gotta repeat the process over here. This is Squeaker, she's the panther. What's wrong with you, girl? Oh, you got a moth? She's hunting a moth. I was wondering why she wasn't paying me any attention. Usually she's all meowing. Hey, leave that moth alone. You don't need him. These cats are kind of wild, so when they get in that mode, it's hard to snap them out of it. Now I know this isn't aquarium related, but I'm going to go ahead and show you a food hack here. Key to getting all the potato off the skin is you got to wiggle it down, then slide it over. See how I just wiggled it down, slid it over? Now you get all the potato. My 3 panels in, and now this is why I didn't screw them in all the way. So now I can lift them up and actually still get into them. Now I did put a lot more screws on these, and I did run out of screws, so I plan on putting more. Let me get over here and I'll show you. I mean, there's still a little gap here, but the more I put in there, the tighter of a seal it's gonna have. So I'm gonna end up putting more down here when I get more screws. Now, for example, like I was talking earlier, you know, some things don't always work out perfect, but it's always good to get the bulk of it done. As you see here, this hangs off. I'm not really sure why. I'm hoping it still fits and I'm still on the mark. No reason why it shouldn't be, because you guys watched me measure that out and it should fit. So if I want to one day, I could either leave it or I could go ahead and score down it and pop it off. But you just kind of break it down after you score it. So that's not a big issue. But now it's pretty much functionable and I can put it on the pond. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Take you guys with me. Actually, I should set up this light first. You guys can see it. I don't trip and kill myself. So then you guys won't have any more videos from me. Alright. Let's see. Slide this over. Oh, actually, I gotta put in one more screw I forgot about. There's always that one thing. Go ahead and drill this in here. Alright, now we're set. Should be able to just lift it up too. There we go. It'd be horrible to break it now. Trim away. And this isn't really that heavy. It's pretty light. Plastic pieces are probably heavier than the wood. Now to actually get this on here, take a little maneuvering. Oh, this ain't too bad. This ain't too bad at all. I guess it should go inside of it. Oh. Really concerned about how this fits over here. Of course, I got everything in my way. If we don't drop the phone in the water. Alright. Oh, that looks pretty good there. Sweet. Get the sponge in the way. That's my filter right there for the pond. Always keep one in and one out. That way I can just keep rotating them. Weather usually cleans that up for me. Let's see, so that's on there. I need to get it inside of it. I don't know why this is too long. They even cut it short. Well, what the heck? Okay. So that should be good there. Oh, that's sitting on top of that. I gotta be careful with that. So there's not really enough gap between there. Might have to notch this part out here so that actually sits farther down. That way the heat doesn't escape out of the sides. Yep, so there'll be a little tweaking there. Really don't know why this does not fit in the middle of it. It's weird. I mean, you guys saw me measure that. I don't know how in the heck that's off like that. I don't know. I could always either put something here or I can just notch it out. I got a Dremel saw I could notch it out with, and I'll show you guys what that is. So this is good for tonight. And tomorrow I'll go ahead and work on this side a little bit. We'll actually get this done tomorrow because that's all I got is tomorrow to do it. And then I'll go ahead and tweak this out and hope to get my pipes wrapped as well. So I got to do all that before noon, because then that's when my mother-in-law has to go back to work, and then I got to watch my son. But yeah, you can see it's already fogging up, so it's catching the heat from rising. And this will help keep the water in it too, because when it gets real cold, water evaporates so fast. So this is a good start. And now, since I'm not done with this, I got some of these new panels here. I can just go ahead and cover it for the night. And we'll start again tomorrow. Now, I tried to pull all-nighter last night and be able to hit this first thing in the morning, but I sat down, got something to eat, and I didn't make it. So now it's a little bit later in the day, and I don't have a lot of time to work on this before I gotta watch my son. See, the wind's already blowing stuff around. Glad to see it didn't even bother this. And see all that condensation on top, that's when you know it's actually working good. So I'm pretty excited about this. Now I just got to do a little mod in there where I can get that more fitted and try to figure out what's going on with this and why it ended up being longer. Maybe have to angle it in or something. And also I'm going to have to get started on this, because you can see here it's just barely even, I mean, it's not really doing much. It's actually doing a lot, but it's not very efficient, that's for sure. Got all these cats coming out of the woods now since I'm out here. I think there's 3 cats out here on the deck. That's Squirtle. You rarely ever see her. She's like the wildest cat. She's the smallest one too. She was the runt. Come here, girl. Come on. She's real timid. And then we got Sparky over there hiding. Coming out to say hi. Say hi. Yeah, meow. Alright. I got some driftwood out here. Gotta have piles of driftwood. Not true addict unless you don't have driftwood on your deck. And then that's Miss Kitty. She's the oldest one. She's the mama of the 3 little babies. But Scrunchy, I don't think she's been on here. I think that's the only cat that hasn't been on here. And I really gotta get these pipes done today too. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. Alright, so I got that marked now. Pull it off and Dremel it out. I got my notches cut. It's a lot more of a snug fit. But I am really not sure how this happened and how that's longer, but really my only option is to just go ahead and take this board and move it over here, which means I gotta really drill all this side and move the screws, but hey, it's what I gotta do to make it fit. And I'll end up just trimming these off a little bit because I got a lot of leeway and I really want it down tight to get that fit. So it is what it is. Okay, so I had this propped up pretty good on there before I left. Just ate some quick lunch, like just not even 2 minutes. Come out, freaking wind gusts come out the other way. Fell over. I mean, it was like that. Popped a hole right through that. So there's 30 bucks. Just destroyed it. Lovely. Gotta start out young. He's my little helper. My little helper, buddy? Yeah? Yeah. Actually getting some stuff done with him, which is awesome. So glad he's getting older. It's making things easier. He's just playing with these blocks. He thinks it's all fun and games. Which is awesome. Can't you, buddy?
Our final load is locked down and ready for transport. Have a safe trip. Let's learn colors. Red.
How you gonna finish the job?
I love you so much. Nice to get home early on a Friday. Ooh, daddy. Ooh, daddy. Watch him go. Oh, that's not lined up. Oh, good job. Who am I kidding? I know dad's got this. Drill, daddy, drill. Oh, all done. Oh, get that other one out of his way. Good job, Wesley.
Oh.
I'm scared Sparky. Good job.
Zoom, 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 zoom. Alright, so far I got the first one done here. So that's a nice fit. And eventually I can just stick that foam in there like I mentioned. Then just to keep the draft out of here, I stuck a board down there. But what I'm planning on doing as well is on the bottom of this, I want to end up putting that on there, like staple that onto that. Maybe cut the glued parts off, that way the glue doesn't get into the water. So trim those down and staple them around. the edges of it. That way it gets a nice tight seal. I mean, it's sealed up pretty well, good enough, a lot better than it was. And I do got some patch jobs to do. And that one that broke over there as well. So yeah, I just have to replace these two whenever the store gets some more. Working on the other one for this, hoping to get it done, but running out of daylight again. Like, the storm is on its way supposedly. It's about I think 2 hours out as far as where the storm's at, so I gotta get to busting. Alright, so it looks like I'm just getting done with this in the nick of time. Like, it's starting to rain now. Wind is really blowing. Oh yeah, it's starting to come down. So I gotta get this done, but yeah, just in the nick of time. Now I said I got done in the nick of time. Now that was a complete lie. This is insane. Like, it came in a lot quicker than I thought it would. I mean, you can't really see much now. I don't want to destroy my phone, but you guys get the drift. Alright, so I did manage to get both tops on, so job is done. As crazy as that was, like, I'm filthy, I'm soaked. Like, it even soaked through the jacket I was wearing. Like, this storm is coming in fast and it's coming in hard. But yeah, for Fix It Friday, that does it for Fix It Friday, and I'll end up tweaking it a little bit and probably add that to next Fix It Friday. I know I look like hell, but I just been in a storm, so what are you gonna do? Peace. Subscribe below, it's free, and if you liked it, feel free to hit that like button. That'd be awesome of you.